Montgomery riverfront, with its serene waters and picturesque views, was a popular spot for locals and tourists alike. On this particular evening, the setting sun cast a golden hue over the Alabama River, making it a perfect backdrop for the many boats that dotted its surface. Among them was a pontoon boat, seemingly ordinary but for the group of white men aboard. The group consisted of 5 men, all in their late 30s to early 40s. They had a rugged appearance, with sunburned skin and hands that told tales of hard labor. Their laughter echoed across the water, drawing curious glances from other boaters. To any onlooker, they seemed like a group of friends enjoying a summer evening. But beneath the surface, there was something more sinister at play. As the evening progressed, the pontoon boat anchored near the docking area, obstructing the path for the larger riverboat. A black riverboat worker, sensing something amiss, approached them, asking them to move their boat. The group's jovial demeanor shifted instantly. Their eyes, cold and calculating, sized up the worker as they exchanged glances. "Why should we?" one of them sneered, his voice dripping with malice. The worker, sensing the underlying threat but committed to his duty, stood his ground. "You're blocking the way. The Harriet II riverboat needs to dock." A tense silence enveloped the scene. The other boaters, sensing the escalating tension, watched with bated breath. The group of men seemed to be deliberating, whispering among themselves. Their boat held a secret, and the riverboat workers' insistence was a threat they hadn't anticipated. Suddenly, a loud commotion erupted. The group lunged at the worker and a brawl ensued. As the fight raged on, a group of black men from the riverboat rushed to the workers' aid. The riverfront turned into a battlefield, with punches thrown, shouts echoing, and the splash of bodies hitting the water. Amidst the chaos, a sharp-eyed onlooker noticed something odd. A tarp on the pontoon boat had shifted during the scuffle, revealing a glimpse of something beneath. It looked like a human hand. The brawl, the racial undertones, the mysterious group of men, and now this eerie discovery. The Montgomery riverfront incident was shaping up to be more than just a simple altercation. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the once golden waters of the Alabama River now reflected the deep purples and blues of twilight. The brawl had been broken up, with police arriving on the scene and detaining several individuals. The riverfront was abuzz with whispers and speculations. Jenna, a local journalist with a nose for a good story, had been at the riverfront that evening. She had initially come to cover a local music event but found herself in the midst of something far more intriguing. She had caught a glimpse of the mysterious hand under the tarp and knew there was more to this story than met the eye. Approaching the pontoon boat with caution, Jenna tried to get a closer look, but the police had cordoned off the area and she was promptly shooed away. Undeterred, she decided to interview some of the onlookers. "I saw them earlier," said an elderly fisherman, his eyes darting nervously. "They were acting strange, whispering among themselves, and there was this smell, like something rotting." Another witness, a young woman who had been picnicking nearby, added, "I heard one of them say something about a delivery and making it quick. It all seemed so shady." As Jenna jotted down notes, she couldn't shake off the feeling that these men were not just ordinary boaters. Their aggressive response to the riverboat worker, their secretive demeanor, and now the chilling discovery on their boat pointed to something far darker. Late into the night, Jenna sat at her desk, piecing together the puzzle. She dug into recent police reports and discovered a series of unsolved disappearances in the surrounding counties. Could there be a connection? She also found an old news article about a group of criminals who had been operating in the South, known for their brutal methods and rumored to be involved in illicit organ trading. The descriptions matched the men on the pontoon boat. As the pieces began to fit together, Jenna felt a chill run down her spine. She was onto something big, something that could put her in danger, but she was determined to uncover the truth. The next day, as the news of the brawl and the mysterious hand spread, the town was on edge. Fear and curiosity gripped the residents. And as the investigation deepened, the riverfront's secrets began to unravel, one layer at a time. The Montgomery riverfront, once a place of leisure and relaxation, had transformed into a hive of activity. Police divers were seen scouring the depths of the Alabama River, while detectives combed the area for clues. The pontoon boat was taken in for forensic examination, and the town waited with bated breath for any new revelations. Jenna, having connected the dots between the group on the boat and the unsolved disappearances, decided to delve deeper. She reached out to her contacts in neighboring towns and learned about similar incidents where boats had been found with traces of human remains, but no culprits were ever identified. The modus operandi was eerily similar. One evening, as Jenna was poring over old newspaper clippings, she received an anonymous tip. A distorted voice on the other end of the line said, "Look into the old warehouse by the riverbank, but be careful." The line went dead before Jenna could ask any questions. Armed with this new lead, Jenna decided to investigate. She drove to the old warehouse, a dilapidated structure that had been abandoned for years. The moonlight cast eerie shadows on its broken windows and graffiti-covered walls. Taking a deep breath, Jenna ventured inside. The warehouse was a labyrinth of old crates, rusted machinery, and cobwebs. As Jenna moved deeper, she stumbled upon a locked room. The padlock looked recent, out of place in the otherwise decaying environment. With a sense of foreboding, Jenna managed to break the lock. Inside, the room was filled with medical equipment, surgical tools, and coolers. A quick look inside one of the coolers confirmed Jenna's worst fears. Human organs, preserved and labeled. The room was a makeshift organ harvesting operation. Suddenly, Jenna heard footsteps. She quickly hid behind a stack of crates as two men entered the room, discussing their shipment and the big payout they were expecting. Jenna recognized their voices. They were from the pontoon boat. She discreetly dialed the police, leaving the line open so they could hear the conversation. The men spoke about their operations, their buyers, and their plans to move to another location soon. As the minutes felt like hours, sirens in the distance grew louder. The men, realizing something was amiss, began to panic. Jenna seized the moment, making a run for the exit. The men gave chase, but as they emerged from the warehouse, they were met by a swarm of police officers. The town's worst fears had been confirmed. The group on the pontoon boat were part of a larger criminal operation, involved in the sinister trade of human organs. The morning sun shone brightly over Montgomery, but the atmosphere in town was anything but light. The news of the organ trafficking ring had spread like wildfire, and residents were in shock. The riverfront, which had always been a symbol of peace and community, had become the epicenter of a dark underworld. The police, with Jenna's invaluable help, had apprehended the men from the pontoon boat. Interrogations revealed a chilling tale. These men were just the tip of the iceberg, foot soldiers in a vast network that spanned multiple states. They preyed on the vulnerable, leaving a trail of missing persons in their wake. The pontoon boat's mystery deepened when the forensic team made a startling discovery. Beneath the boat's deck, hidden compartments contained more human remains. Each body part was meticulously cataloged, ready for sale to the highest bidder. The reason for the body parts on the boat was clear. It was a mobile operation, allowing them to move quickly and evade detection. Jenna's articles on the case became front-page news. She detailed the entire operation, from the initial brawl at the riverfront to the harrowing discovery at the warehouse. Her brave investigative work was lauded, and she became a local hero. As the days turned into weeks, the town began to heal. Vigils were held for the victims, and the community came together like never before. The riverfront saw a transformation too. The town decided to erect a memorial in honor of the victims, a reminder of the dark days and a symbol of hope and resilience. The organ trafficking ring's leaders were eventually tracked down and brought to justice, thanks to the evidence and leads from the Montgomery case. The pontoon boat and the warehouse were grim reminders of the evil that had once lurked in their midst. The story concluded with a message of hope. Despite the horrors they had faced, the community's spirit remained unbroken. They had faced the darkness together and emerged stronger, proving that even in the face of unspeakable evil, the human spirit could triumph. And as the Alabama River continued to flow, it carried with it tales of horror, bravery, and resilience, forever etching the Montgomery riverfront incident in the annals of history.